Okay, so let's dive into this whole UFO thing.
Yeah.
Not the, the blurry photos and shaky camcorder footage we always see.
Right.
But what does the government really know? They've been quiet about this for decades, right?
Well, it is really interesting how UFOs went from kind of, fringe science to something that even the Pentagon is taking very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of that shift really started with this program, ATIP, the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program.
ATIP.
Yeah.
It sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
Mm-hmm.
But $22 million in funding, that's serious money.
Yeah.
This was a real program, though, right? Not just, like, a movie idea.
Oh, absolutely. A very real program.
Okay.
It ran from 2007 to 2012 and was investigating what they call UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena.
Okay.
And the kind of the driving force behind all this, the then Senate Majority Leader, Harry Reid.
Hold on. Harry Reid,
Mm-hmm.
the senator from Nevada?
Yeah.
That's like Area 51 territory. Makes you wonder if, being from Nevada had something to do with his interest.
Well, it's certainly possible.
Yeah.
But beyond just the location, Senator Reid, he was known for being really interested in science, and he really believed in government transparency. He felt that the public deserved to know about these events that couldn't be explained.
Okay, so what did ATIP actually do with all that money, that $22 million?
Right.
I'm picturing, like, men in black suits chasing after flying saucers.
Uh-huh. Not quite.
Okay.
They actually contracted this company, Bigelow Aerospace Advanced Space Studies,
Okay.
to compile this huge report. We're talking 494 pages on UFO sightings.
Whoa.
It's known as the 10-month report, and most of it's still classified.
494 pages. That's a lot of unexplained stuff.
It is.
What did it focus on, the report? Like, what kind of sightings?
Well, it covers, reported sightings over several decades, and it analyzes, like, the potential technology involved, even strategic plans based on the analyses from those sightings.
Wow.
It kind of paints this picture of a government that's really taking this stuff seriously.
But then why is it all so secretive? 494 pages, and we can't see any of it.
Right. It really makes you think there's something they don't want us to know.
Exactly.
Yeah. The level of secrecy around all this really points to how sensitive it is. But some information did come out from ATIP.
Okay.
And it's pretty interesting stuff.
That's where those crazy videos come in, right?
Yeah.
The ones with, like, objects moving in ways that just don't seem possible.
Exactly.
Those were from ATIP, right?
Yeah, those videos captured by military pilots, they kind of sent shockwaves through the media, I think it's safe to say.
For sure.
The objects in those videos, they were doing things that no known aircraft can do.
Right, like defying gravity and stuff.
And even the Navy confirmed that the videos are real.
Wow.
Which really adds another level of credibility to all of it.
So they admitted the videos were real, but they never said, like, aliens, did they?
No.
Just that, they were unidentified.
Yeah, they use that term, unidentified aerial phenomena.
UAPs.
UAPs, right?
Admitting they had no clue what those pilots caught on film.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, okay, what happened to ATIP after that? Did it just disappear?
Well, officially, the Department of Defense says it ended in 2012.
Oh,
Said they ran out of funding. But Luis Elizondo, he was the director of ATIP.
Okay.
And he claims that the program actually kept going.
What?
Yeah, with support from the Navy and the CIA.
So they said it ended, but it was secretly still running.
That's what Elizondo says, yeah.
That's wild. It just adds, like, another layer to this whole mystery.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so was Elizondo making this up? Or was he telling the truth?
Well, in 2020, the Pentagon actually acknowledged this thing called the Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force.
Okay.
UAPTF, for short.
So basically, ATIP 2.0.
Yeah, pretty much.
So the investigations continued, just with a different name.
Exactly.
Did the UAPTF do anything different, or was it business as usual?
Well, they actually took things further.
Mm-hmm.
They were giving classified briefings to Congress and aerospace executives for over a decade.
Whoa, seriously?
Yeah, so while the public was kept in the dark, the government was really digging deeper behind the scenes.
Okay, so we have ATIP turning into the UAPTF, and then Congress gets involved.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of those puzzles where each piece you find just creates more questions.
And just when you think you're starting to see the bigger picture,
Yeah.
the puzzle gets even more complex.
Oh, no, don't tell me there's another name change.
Oh, got it.
No way.
In 2022, UAPTF evolved again, this time into the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office.
Okay, hold on. ATIP, UAPTF, AARO.
Uh-huh.
That's like alphabet soup of government acronyms.
Yeah.
What's different about AR? Is it just a fancy new name, or is there more to it?
So the UAPTF focused mainly on, the aerial
Got
stuff.
stuff in the air?
But AARO, they expanded their focus.
Okay.
They investigate unidentified phenomena in the air, the sea, space, even on land.
Wait, hold on. They're looking for UFOs underwater now and underground.
That's right.
What do we even call those? USOs? UGOs.
Exactly.
Wow, this is like the government's admitting that these weird things, they're not just limited to the skies anymore.
Yeah, it's a big shift.
It really makes you wonder what kind of reports they must be getting from, like, sailors, submarine crews, even people hiking in the woods.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it, what they're finding in all these other places.
Absolutely. It's like opening Pandora's box.
Mm-hmm.
You just never know what's going to come out.
Yeah, and that's what makes all of this so fascinating, I think.
Definitely.
It really challenges how we think about reality and the nature of the universe itself.
Okay, so AARO's job is to investigate all these weird events, but what are they actually doing with all that information? Are they just, like, filing it away somewhere?
It's more than just cataloging sightings, for sure. They have to analyze these encounters, figure out if they're a threat, and then come up with plans to, deal with those threats.
It makes sense.
It's a big change from how people used to dismiss UFOs,
Yeah, I guess if these objects are real and we have no idea what their technology is like or what they want,
Right.
it could be a national security issue.
Exactly.
So AARO's work is important then.
That's super important.
Have they figured out any of these mysteries yet?
They've actually been pretty open considering how sensitive this all is. They've admitted they were able to explain some sightings like misidentified aircraft, weather, stuff like that.
Okay.
But a lot of cases are still unexplained.
Really?
They just don't have enough information to say for sure what happened.
So they're not ruling out that some of these UAPs could be something truly amazing.
Not at all.
Wow.
In fact, Sean Kirkpatrick, he's the director of AARO.
Okay.
He even suggested that some UAPs might be probes.
Probes, like sent out from something bigger.
Yeah, from an alien mothership somewhere in our solar system.
Oh, hold on. An alien mothership.
Yeah.
Did he really say that?
He did.
That's a pretty big statement coming from a government official.
It is, yeah.
You don't hear people in those positions talking about alien motherships every day.
Not every day, no.
It does sound kind of science fiction-y.
It does.
But he's not the only one who thinks this way, right?
Yeah.
Didn't Senator Reid, the one who started ATIP,
Yeah.
didn't he also say something about, like, crashed objects?
Yeah, he said that it's possible the government has crashed objects of unknown origin.
Crashed objects. Okay, now we're getting into some serious territory.
We are.
Are we talking about, like, potential alien spacecraft here?
It's definitely possible.
Wow.
Senator Reid didn't, officially confirm they'd recovered alien craft or anything.
no.
But his statement, plus what AARO is doing now, it really makes you think that the government knows a lot more than they're letting on.
So what does all this mean? Are we about to get official confirmation that aliens exist?
Hard to say. The government's been really quiet about this stuff for decades.
Right.
But the fact that they're admitting UAPs are real and they're actually investigating them,
Yeah.
it's a huge change from how they used to be.
It's a far cry from, like, Project Blue Book,
Oh, yeah.
where they tried to explain away every UFO as swamp gas or weather balloon.
Absolutely. The level of openness now, it's never been like this before.
It makes you wonder what changed their minds.
Exactly. What did change their minds?
That's a great question.
It is. And it brings us to another important part of this whole thing, the people involved.
Okay.
Are we talking about, those stereotypical UFO enthusiasts? Not at all.
Okay.
The people working on these programs are very credible. Military pilots, intelligence officials, scientists, even astronauts.
Well, that's a pretty impressive group.
Yeah, they have tons of experience, they understand science and technology, and they're committed to finding the truth.
So these aren't just people with wild theories. They're professionals who are looking at this seriously.
Exactly. They're looking at the data, evaluating the evidence, and trying to figure out what they're seeing.
And you mentioned Luis Elizondo earlier.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about him and his role in all this?
Luis Elizondo, he's a really fascinating figure in this whole thing. He was a counterintelligence special agent for the Department of Defense for years.
Okay.
He was the head of ATIP, and he was really important in getting the Pentagon to take UFOs seriously.
So he wasn't just some random guy who stumbled onto something big. He actually had the experience and the knowledge to back up what he was saying.
Exactly. And his background in intelligence, it probably gave him a different perspective on what these things could mean.
Right.
He understood the national security risks, and he really wanted to bring this issue to light.
And then there are the pilots.
Yeah.
The stories we hear from, like Navy pilots, about what they've seen, they're unbelievable.
Yeah, there are so many reports from these highly trained pilots who've seen UAPs up close.
Hmm.
They talk about objects that can do things no known aircraft can do.
Right. Things that seem impossible.
And these aren't just, conspiracy theorists or whatever.
Right.
These are people who risk their lives defending the country, and they're coming forward to share what they saw.
So these pilots are seeing things they can't explain, things that go against everything we know about physics and technology.
That's what a lot of people are saying, yeah.
And that leads to a pretty big question. If these UAPs aren't ours, then whose are they?
Yeah.
And are they a threat?
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, so far there's nothing to suggest they're hostile or anything, but
Yeah.
it's just them being in our airspace underwater.
Yep.
It raises some serious concerns about, national security.
I can see why the government's worried.
Yeah.
If we don't even know what these things are, how are we supposed to defend against them?
Exactly. And that's where AARO's role comes in with
Yeah.
those mitigation strategies we talked about.
Hmm.
They're exploring all sorts of options, from better sensors to maybe even, new weapons designed specifically for these unknown
It's
threats.
like we're living in a sci-fi movie or something.
It really does have that feel, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's like actually happening.
It is. And the truth is, we're dealing with something totally new here.
Hmm.
The implications are huge.
It makes you wonder what's going to happen next.
Mm-hmm.
Will we actually make contact with these, beings?
Right.
Will we figure out how their technology works?
Yeah.
Or will they just disappear as suddenly as they showed up?
Those are the questions, all right. The ones that keep a lot of us up at night, I think.
Yeah, and AARO's trying to find those answers.
They are.
But it's not just about getting those answers, is it?
No.
It's about how we as a society react to this whole thing.
Right, to this new reality.
Okay, let's talk about that for a second.
Sure.
We've been talking about ATIP, UAPTF, AARO, all these programs.
Yeah.
But what about the people involved? Are we talking about like the stereotypical UFO enthusiasts here?
No, not at all. These are highly credible people working on these programs. Military pilots, intelligence officials, scientists, even astronauts.
Wow, that's a pretty impressive group.
It is, and they have years of experience. They really understand science and technology, and they're really dedicated to the truth.
So these aren't just people with wild theories. They're professionals who are approaching this from a scientific and analytical perspective.
Exactly. They're looking at the data, the evidence, and trying to make sense of it all.
And the data they're collecting, it's hard to ignore, right?
It is. And you mentioned Luis Elizondo earlier.
I did.
Can you tell me more about him and his role in all of this?
Yeah, so Luis Elizondo, he's a really interesting guy in this whole story.
Okay.
He worked for the Department of Defense for years as a counterintelligence special agent.
Wow.
He was the head of ATIP.
Right.
And a big reason why the Pentagon started taking UFOs seriously.
So he wasn't just some random guy who stumbled onto something big.
Exactly.
He had the experience and the knowledge to back up his claims.
Yeah, and his background in intelligence, that probably gave him a unique perspective on what these phenomena could mean.
Oh, absolutely. He understood the national security risks.
Right.
And he was determined to bring this issue to light.
And then there are the pilots.
Yeah.
There's stories, especially the ones from Navy pilots, about their encounters are just mind-blowing.
Yeah, we have so many reports from these highly trained pilots, and they all describe objects doing things that go against everything we know about physics.
It's like they're breaking the laws of physics.
Right, and these aren't just your average conspiracy theorists, you know?
Yeah.
These are people who put their lives on the line defending the country, and they're coming forward with these incredible accounts.
So their testimony carries a lot of weight.
It does, yeah. These are people who are trained to observe and analyze. They know the difference between a regular aircraft and something truly strange.
And it's not just one or two pilots saying this, is it?
No, the consistency of their accounts is really striking. Pilots from different squadrons, different branches of the military, they're all seeing similar things.
So that adds a lot of credibility to the whole phenomenon.
A lot of credibility, yeah.
It's hard to dismiss that many firsthand accounts, especially coming from such reliable sources.
It really is. And it's not just that they're seeing these things, they're recording them too.
Right, the videos.
Exactly. The videos released through ATIP, they provide some pretty compelling visual evidence that something extraordinary is happening in our skies.
Yeah, those videos are pretty convincing.
They are.
The way those objects move, it's just not something any known aircraft can do.
It's not.
It's hard to watch them and not feel a sense of awe and wonder.
I agree. Those videos have sparked a global conversation about what's real and what's possible.
Yeah.
They've challenged our assumptions and forced us to face the unknown.
It's a good reminder that we still know so little about the universe.
We do.
There could be technologies and intelligences out there that are far beyond anything we can imagine.
Absolutely, and that's both exciting and a little bit scary, isn't it?
It is the idea that we're not alone in the universe,
Right.
that there could be other beings out there, maybe even more advanced than us.
It's a lot to process.
It is, and
Yeah.
it brings us back to that fundamental question.
Yeah.
Are these UAPs a threat?
That's the question everyone wants answered.
For sure.
But it's a complicated one. We just don't know enough about these objects, where they come from, or what they want, to say for sure if they're dangerous or not.
But the fact that they're operating in our airspace without our permission, that's got to be concerning.
Of course it is. It's a violation of our sovereignty.
Right.
And it raises questions about whether we can even defend ourselves against threats we don't understand.
So what can we do? Just sit here and wait for them to make the next move?
Well, that's where organizations like AARO come in.
Okay.
They're working to gather more data, make our sensors better, and come up with plans for dealing with these unknown phenomena.
But gathering data takes time.
It
And in the meantime, these objects are still showing up in our skies, in our waters.
Yeah.
It feels like we're always playing catch up.
We are, but that's how scientific discovery often works.
Hmm.
We find things we don't understand, and it's through observation, analysis, and being open to new ideas that we make progress.
So we need to approach this with both caution and curiosity.
Exactly. We need to be aware of the potential risks, but also be open to the possibility that we're on the verge of an incredible discovery.
A discovery that could change how we see the universe and our place in it.
Absolutely. This is a moment in history that could change everything we thought we knew about reality.
And it's happening right now.
It is. It's an incredible time to be alive.
It really is.
And this story, it's just beginning to unfold.
It really does feel like we're standing at the edge of something huge,
It is.
like a vast unknown.
Mm-hmm.
It's exhilarating, but also kind of scary, you know?
Yeah, that's a natural reaction, I think, to
Mhm.
the unknown. I mean, for centuries, people have looked up at the stars and wondered, are we alone?
Yeah.
And now it seems like we might be getting an answer, but it's just creating even more questions.
It really is.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked a lot today about ATIP, UAPTF, AARO,
Mm-hmm.
all these programs and investigations.
Right.
But I keep coming back to this one question.
Yeah.
What does all this mean for, the person listening to this?
Yeah.
Why should they care about UFOs and government secrets and the possibility of aliens?
That's a great question. And I think the most important thing to take away from all of this is that we're living in a time of incredible scientific discovery. For generations, we've just speculated about life beyond Earth, but now we have real evidence from credible sources suggesting that we're not alone in the universe.
It's like a complete shift in how we understand the universe and our place in it.
It is. It really is. And it changes everything for science, technology, philosophy, even religion. It forces us to rethink everything we thought we knew about reality.
It's a lot to take in, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's also incredibly exciting,
It is.
The possibilities for discovery, they're just endless.
They are, and it shows how important curiosity is. We need to keep asking questions, support research, and demand transparency from our governments.
Right, we can't just sit back and let other people do the searching.
Exactly.
We need to be a part of this.
We do. This isn't just for scientists and government officials.
That's
This
right.
is for everyone. It affects us all.
And that's what we've tried to do with this deep dive, right? To give people the knowledge to explore this topic themselves.
Exactly. We've laid out the history, the evidence, what it all means.
Yeah.
But it's up to each person to dig deeper and come to their own conclusions.
Because at the end of the day, this is a journey of personal discovery as much as it is scientific.
It is, and it's a journey that has the potential to change how we see ourselves and the universe we live in.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of UFOs, we want to leave you with this. The evidence is there. The truth is out there. The question is, are you ready to see it? The truth was here